Friends podcast. How are you? I hope you're doing well wherever you are. I hope the sun is shining. I hope the weather is warm. Apparently, in other places that are not South Carolina, it is not like summer weather. Like we are in the 80s. Okay, if it's not 85 right now, I'm like, oh my God, there must be a cold front like coming in. Like this is winter. We are in practically full, like we're in beach weather mode, which I love. Went to Hilton Head with my girlfriend, and we went to the beach and we biked, and it was amazing. But I still have not had my first Charleston beach day. Probably won't for several weeks, at least, because I'm traveling this week as well, which at the time that this comes out, you guys will have probably seen it. What else is going on? This is week 2 of being a full-time influencer, which is really neat. I had one anxiety attack last week. It actually wasn't an anxiety attack. Let me not be dramatic. I really had just had 2 days of high anxiety, not like managing my time well, or like it's the definition of success is really weird. The definition of like when your day is done is a really weird thing to define when you work for yourself, not just influencing, in any job where you work for yourself. I love being managed. I love having a boss. I love having somebody else tell me that I'm doing a good job. I love having somebody else tell me that you're done for the day and you're good. I love it. I love having somebody else explain to me my expectations. It is a great challenge for me to be the one to set those. So I should go back to therapy, and I'll put that on my list of to-dos. But this week I'm feeling good. We're doing some experimentation with content. I'm trying to figure out what's best, planning out the content or planning out my day, and then letting my content for the day sort of surround that. Still trying to figure out what that looks like for me. But other than that, things are going well. How are you? How are you doing? How's the week? How's work? How's everything going on? Today's podcast is going to be super fun. Of course, we've got the top 5 stories, top 5 stories, top 3 stories. Oh my gosh. You know what I was thinking of? Do you guys listen to The Toast as well? Because we can share here. You can have multiple podcasts that you listen to. I do love The Toast because they're a daily podcast. And they have top 5 stories. Of course, we do 3 stories, and we're only on a weekly basis, so we'll do 3 stories of the week. But we've got our top 3 stories, and then we are actually going to be going through some questions. So I was on a panel with a group called Legacy Digital Media Group. Legacy Digital Media, I don't actually know if they're called a group. Anyway, it's a marketing company, PR company in Charleston. They hosted a influencer panel called the Influencer Blueprint. It was so good. I was so happy to be there, so humbled, because here's the thing. Here's something between you and me, okay? When there are times when you need to check yourself, I have this one area that irks me, and it is where I turn into a jealous bitch. And I want you to know that I will never act on those actions. I will never do something like to another person because I'm feeling this way. But I've got this little thing, okay, about Charleston influencers, because And it comes from, I know it comes from a place of jealousy. It comes from a place of insecurity. And it's when I see other influencers getting invited to events. It was especially true like last year, last fall, and in the summer last year, especially because now I'm like being invited to things. But anyway, it started then, and I was not being invited to these things, and I started following more Charleston influencers, and then I was getting to see like these groups of people that were going. I was like, why am I not invited? And you know what irked me more? This is so ugly. I'm telling you something that I recognize is not good behavior, okay? And I'm doing it the Southern way. I was feeling ugly. I was being ugly. Southern mothers will say that. Being ugly. This is very ugly. I was looking and I was like, oh my God, they're not even from here. Like, I was born here. I'm from here. It's hard to find fellow native Charlestonians. And let's be real, I'm a suburb of Charleston. I'm not a Charlestonian. I'm a Somervillian. So, which is a suburb of Charleston if you're not from here. So it's like saying you're from Chicago, but you're really from the outskirts of Chicago, like a small town on the outskirts. But, everybody works in Chicago. Like that's where you go to dinner. You're close enough where like that's your area. You just live in the suburb where it's quiet, more affordable, and family friendly. That's where I grew up. So, that's how I felt. And it was so stupid. It was so stupid because I did not earn a place there. They may not be from here, but they're the ones that are creating Charleston content. They're the ones who are hustling and showing the best restaurants and getting their names out there. And it didn't take away from me and what I was doing. But my audience was not in Charleston. My audience, honestly, like my primary audience, or not primary, but my biggest audience is on TikTok. Most of my people are not from Charleston. And Instagram is really where my Charleston, or people know me more as being from Charleston. TikTok doesn't really know that. And at that time that was, my largest platform. And I don't think I really drilled into Instagram as much at that point. All that to say, I'm growing out of that. Okay. I'm healing from that. Many of those, women are my friends, and, I've talked to them about it. Or like people will relate, honestly. And the relatable part is like you always feel it's FOMO. Like you feel like you're missing out. And so I've talked to other influencers about when they haven't gotten invited to events and other people have. And the world is small. So you see a couple of your friends going and you always see about the same people at these things. And so you're like, why am I not part of this group? Anyway, so all that to say, to be then invited to something called the Influencer Blueprint and get to speak on a panel as a Charleston influencer about the influencer industry and specifically that in Charleston, but overall in building an influencer business was very, very, is amazing for me. And getting to sit next to these women who have put in that work and that I really, really look up to in terms of the Charleston influencer market, which is great. And then everybody up there is pretty much primarily like a Charleston influencer. Most of their stuff's about Charleston. There was one girl that I think is less about like Charleston on some of her channels, but mine was definitely, I was the odd duck, I would say, in that my content does not reflect Charleston as much as they do. But I loved it. I was so happy to be there. But we were sent the questions before the panel. Great questions. We got to 4 of them, and there were a lot more than 4. And so I thought it would be a really fun thing to do is just kind of go through those questions. So anybody that went to the panel could listen to this. And then it was really interesting to get these questions because it was never things that I had really told you guys. And it's about the influencer industry, the influencer business. So, if you're interested in building your, a business in content creation, great. If you're not, and you're just curious about the industry and what the behind the scenes looks like, you guys know that I cannot shut my mouth, nor have no filter. No, nor do I have a filter. And that I will tell you anything. So I'm going to go through the questions from that panel. It'll be great. But before we get into that, let's get into the group chat. If you are new to Mutual Friends, first of all, so happy that you're here. Happy that you are now a mutual friend. If you're not new, hey friend. Group chat is where we go over the top 3 stories happening in pop culture that we want to talk about for the week. It's very fun. We get to recap it. It's less about telling you the news and more about us gabbing about it. So first one, this is a very interesting, I'm reading from Elle.com. A triumphant Taylor Swift rekindles the Kim Kardashian rivalry with Thank You, aIMee. So, of course, Taylor released a song, several songs, but a specific diss track about Kim Kardashian called Thank You, aIMee. She capitalized the K-I-M in Thank You, aIMee. It was hysterical. What I thought would be really funny is if we would go through, and Elle did a good job of, they pulled out some of the lyrics that are in this song. Oh, first of all, if you haven't listened to the Tortured Poets Department, I highly recommend you do. If you are somebody who is anti-Taylor, if you are somebody who doesn't typically listen to that type of music, I would say that if you're listening to this podcast, you wouldn't be anti-Taylor, because that's a little bit pick me. But you may not, she may not be your cup of tea. You may not listen to that music. That is totally fine. However, it would behoove you? Let's not try to be an English major. I encourage you to listen to this album, and if you need a way to relate, with the album. Listening to Tortured Poets Department, I think you listen to it in the same way that you should listen to a rap song. I think rap songs, you best understand and can appreciate the song when you read the lyrics, especially rap because they're fast and a lot of times you can't understand it on the first go. Read the lyrics. As you're listening to Taylor's song, either listen super carefully or read the lyrics. I would suggest you read the lyrics because it truly is like reading poetry. That's kind of the whole point. And it's like, but it's storytelling. And I think it's 10 times better if you do that. Highly recommend you listen to it. So she on one of the songs on this called Thank You, aIMee. And yeah, it is a diss towards Kim Kardashian. So let's get into what all this is about. So there wouldn't be, so this is one of the lyrics. There wouldn't be this if there hadn't been you. That's one of the lyrics in the song. 8 years ago, this is not the song, I'm now reading the article. 8 years ago, it would have been difficult to imagine Taylor Swift ever saying such a thing to Kim Kardashian, but that seems exactly what she's doing in the surprise Tortured Poets Department track, Thank You, aIMee, which isn't, shall we say, subtle in its aim at the Skims founder. The TPD bonus song isn't the first time Swift has publicly addressed her history with Kardashian, nor is it an opaque Easter egg only intended for the truest fans. Swift wants to make herself crystal clear she has emerged from this feud the victor. And you know what sucks, guys, is that I love them both. I know more about Taylor, so I relate more to Taylor, but I really like Kim. Like, I think I really admire Kim. I'm very inspired by Kim. And with this and like all their family affiliation with like OJ Simpson and like basically paying a lawyer to cover it up, like that, I'm like, oh, Kim, I want to support you, girl, but this is some shady ass business. Okay. So although the spark ignited as early as 2009, the drama between the two hit its peak in 2016 when Kardashian, then married to rapper Kanye West, memorably posted an edited video to Snapchat supposedly depicting Swift approving West's controversial famous lyrics. The back and forth between stars and their publicists and fans grew so heated in the following days that Swift ultimately wiped her social media and wrote her infamous Reputation album in response to the scandal. If you are not a Taylor Swift fan, then you may not be aware of the detriment that that scandal had on Taylor. It was really, really bad. Sarah, my friend, put it in a really good way. She was like, it takes a lot of people for something to be trending on Twitter. And I Hate Taylor Swift was the number one trending thing on Twitter. That's a lot of freaking people. And imagine being berated. Like, anyway, so now in 2024, Swifties are eagerly awaiting Reputation. What? Oh, sorry. Now, in 2024, Swifties are eagerly awaiting Reputation, Taylor's version, the star's next re-recording of her original catalog, and Thank You, aIMee is rekindling the feud. The song features several lyrics that double as thinly veiled swipes at Kardashian. Okay, are you ready? Quote, a bronze spray tan statue of you, of course, targets Kardashian's notorious penchant for spray tans and heavy contour. Quote, stomping across my grave, and, quote, writing headlines in the local paper are clear references to Kardashian burying Swift with the Snapchat video, as well as telling outlets like GQ that Swift totally approved the famous lyrics, which, if you didn't know, video sounded like Taylor Swift had approved the lyric, I made that bitch famous, and Taylor had not, in fact, approved that at all. Swift shares that I changed your name and any real defining clues, signaling to her fans that the song is not about the supposed aIMee, as the title suggests. And perhaps the most searing line, this is crazy, all right? This line in the song, one day your kid comes home singing a song that only us two is going to know is about you. Kardashian and her daughter Northwest have posted videos dancing to Taylor Swift songs. Imagine your kid being a Swift, like a Taylor Swift fan, and you are Taylor Swift's like greatest enemy. Crazy. Swift's most recent reference to the feud was in a Time interview in which she name-dropped Kardashian, saying, make no mistake, my career was taken away from me. Oh, this, if you're not aware of like the feud and its effect on Taylor, I think this gives a good light. You have a fully manufactured frame job and an illegally recorded phone call, which Kim Kardashian edited and then put out to say to everyone that I was a liar. That took me down psychologically to a place I've never been before. I moved to a foreign country. I didn't leave a rental house for a year. I was afraid to go on phone calls. I pushed away most people in my life because I didn't trust anyone anymore. I went down really, really hard. And this, it would seem, is her only the latest chapter in her comeback. Oh, like, okay, so Taylor went like MIA, but this, I'm like, I'm a Taylor fan. I'm also a Kim fan, but no, I don't know if I can really be a Kim fan when you're doing such shady shit. Honestly, the OJ Simpson thing like really gets me. You can Google that, but her affiliation, her father, and it's something else. It is something else. But yes, Tortured Poets Department is still highly on my mind, and Thank You, aIMee is a fantastic song either way, but now you know the background of it and the lyrics that you should look out for if you're listening to it. Next, Kimberly J. Brown marries Halloweentown co-star Daniel Kountz. The former Disney Channel stars first met on the set of 2001's Halloweentown 2: Calabar's Revenge. This is so cute. Do you guys remember Halloweentown? Kimberly J. Brown and Daniel Kountz are married. Kountz are married. The couple who met while filming the 2001 Disney Channel movie Halloweentown 2: Calabar's Revenge tied the knot on Friday at the Spanish Hills Club in Camarillo, California. Brown and Kountz shared moments from the day of their dreams on Instagram following the celebration, revealing they were even able to include their beloved dog in the nuptials. So cute. Oh my God. Like, Halloweentown is such a classic. So that whole genre of movie, that whole like time of movies, like 2001 area, so freaking good. And the fact that they got married, it's so cute. It's like Brenda Song and the Home Alone kid, just so cute. I love it. This made my heart happy. Definitely take a look at their pictures because it is adorable. And last one, we are getting an update on Morgan Wallen, who, of course, got arrested when he threw a chair at a Nashville bar. So Morgan Wallen speaks out on Nashville arrest for chair throwing incident. Morgan Wallen claims he has made amends with people connected to his chair throwing incident that led to his arrest in Nashville earlier this month. According to TMZ, Wallen broke his silence on his arrest on Friday, noting that he was not proud of his actions or behavior the night of his arrest. Duh. This is a quote, "I didn't feel right publicly checking in until I made amends with some folks. I've touched base with the Nashville law enforcement, my family, and the good people at Chiefs," which I suppose is the bar. "I'm not proud of my behavior and I accept responsibility," Wallen wrote on social media. "I have the utmost respect for the officers working every day to keep us all safe. Regarding my tour, there will be no change." Wallen is scheduled to perform on Saturday at Von Hemingway Stadium in Mississippi, with a big appearance at Stagecoach in California the next weekend. Wallen was originally booked and charged with 3 counts of reckless endangerment and 1 misdemeanor count of disorderly conduct. The charges stem from Wallen allegedly throwing a chair off the roof of Eric Church's Chiefs in Nashville, sending it crashing 6 stories to land right next to the local police. The country star had remained quiet and under the radar after the arrest, with a lot of people not involved in the incident speaking out with some outrage. But it sounds like Wallen is ready to move on and might be avoiding any serious trouble. Honestly, I think that's going to be the wrap on it. Like, he got really drunk. He threw a chair. It didn't hurt anybody. It didn't hit anybody. Dumb. But he accepted responsibility. I feel like we can let it pass. Also, the man is performing at Stagecoach. Like, hello. Also, should I go to Stagecoach? Not this year. No, I almost went this year. But now I'm like, do I go to Stagecoach? It's the freaking FOMO. I want to go to Coachella. I'm gonna see the pictures at Stagecoach. Here's the thing though. Coachella, I wouldn't be a phony. I would know a lot of that music. I would not know the Stagecoach music. I feel like I can't go unless I'm like a true country girl. Although I did get invited to go line dancing. I've been line dancing before. That's a gross exaggeration. I have been in a line dancing bar before, and I've joined in on the dances when they're not that hard, and I can kind of pick up the steps. But then it gets really serious and scary, and I can't figure it out. So then I back away and I just watch. But maybe I get really into line dancing, get into country music, and then go to Stagecoach next year. Just got to study up. So those are the 3 stories. Let's get into the podcast. So again, this is from the Influencer Blueprint from Legacy Digital Media. And yeah, I'm just going to go through these questions. There are, I haven't actually counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 questions. I don't think that we need to go through all 13, honestly, but we'll go through, as many as I can, and I think they overlap. So I'm just going to set that there. Let's talk about the first one. Okay, we're getting into it. Talking about influencer business, building an influencer business. So first question, what are the first steps you took in building your following and platforms? I will briefly go over this for anybody that is new. I've done podcasts on this before, and so you can go back and if you're listening to this and you're not new, then chances are you know it. So I started posting on TikTok. I wanted to take it seriously. So I started posting off and on, sort of to get my feet wet, get comfortable with posting. In January of 2020, I got married in 2022, so I started in 2021. That's a lie. It would have been I got started in 2022. Wait, did I get started the same year I got married? No, I got started in 2021, married in 2022. Last year was 2023. We are now in 2024. Okay. January, started posting, getting used to it, sort of like more of practicing, flexing the posting muscle, okay? Getting comfortable with the platform. March, I had one day where I said, okay, I'm going to post every single day. I'm going to take this very seriously. I see a growth opportunity and I want to do this. I didn't think to this scale. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I knew that I wanted to try my hand at consistency. I just realized that in the camera, you can just see my straw of my water. Ignore that. I'm sorry. I don't know where to put it. We're just going to put that there, and there's just going to be this random straw. Maybe I can put that over there. This straw is the bane of my existence. Started posting consistently, every single day, for a week. On Saturday, I did a post about this laundry bar. It's called Fells Naphtha, and I make my own laundry detergent, and that is the main ingredient in it. It's also a fantastic stain remover, and my family's been doing this for as long as I can remember. My mom taught me how to make homemade detergent, so I made a video about it because I went and I bought what I miscounted, and that actually drove a lot of engagement on the video as well. I thought about 12. I actually bought 13. Anyway, I bought a ton of Fells Naphtha from Walmart. I was like, this is so funny. I'm walking around, I've just got this bar of laundry soap that I am carrying. Let me make a video about it because it is so good. I made a video. It reached 10,000 views that night, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing ever. Within a month, it had, I don't even know how many million views it had, but I had gone from 200 followers to 200,000 in a month. I was obviously gaining a following very rapidly, of course, in that month. So when I saw that following I saw that I was getting followers, I wanted to see why I was getting followers, because just because you have a viral video does not mean that you're going to gain followers, because what people are looking for when they go to your profile and to click the follow button is consistency. They want to see that you are posting something else that is going to be relevant to them. They're going to scroll through the last 3 videos or something like that, and they're going to see if, they post about X, Y, and Z. I know what to expect from this person. I want more of that. So, and then they click follow. So I was like, okay, I want to go back. Why did they click follow? What made them do that action? And I realized all of my videos had some underlying invisible string theme of that I was a cheap ass. I am a cheap ass at my heart. I was like, every single one, like I mentioned, budgeting, doing something cheaper. That's always been a theme in my life. And so with this video, when I talk about making my own laundry detergent and it's so cheap and this bar of soap is $1, I was like, oh, that's what they want. So I continued to make cleaning content. I continued to make laundry content. I continued to make budgeting content. And that worked. So that's how I got started. I went and continued to make content. At first, for the first several months, if I wasn't cleaning, doing laundry, or cooking, they did not want to see it. Little housewife queen. But then I got married. And honestly, my wedding turned my content around. Now that I think about it, I really think that maybe it was 2022. I think that, no, it was 22. It was 100%. It was 2022. I got married that September. This happened in March. This happened in March. Several months of only doing cleaning content. And then my wedding is what really got me into lifestyle content, because people started seeing my life. They wanted to learn more about the wedding, and that was awesome to flip my clients. Oh my gosh, I'm still thinking of like my marketing agency, flip my viewers into also lifestyle content and not just cleaning content. So that is how I got started. That was the first steps of building the platforms. From there, honestly, my following really did not translate onto YouTube or Instagram. From there, I really didn't start building, like, that following did not translate onto YouTube and Instagram. I started building those separately, which is what I think a lot of people do. Next, what common mistakes should new influencers avoid when trying to grow their brand? I think that a lot of new influencers, they don't treat it like a business, and they don't treat it like a 9-to-5. Like, you should think of it as a clock in, clock out. You should take yourself seriously, because if you don't take yourself seriously, nobody else is going to. You should also stop posting as if your aunt, your friend, your high school crush is going to see it. And you need to start posting as if a stranger is going to see it. When I post, I'm not talking to my family. I'm not talking to the friends that follow me. Thank God they're so supportive. They're so amazing. I'm talking to the stranger, the person who has no idea who I am, and I want to help them. I think that's easier. And if you are worried about posting, or that sounds embarrassing, then mute, or you don't even have to mute, then block the people that you're worried about from seeing your stuff. They'd never know that you blocked them. You can unblock them later. But that way if it feels, I think that it is easier to create content when you think it's going to the abyss, into anonymous people, than if you think it's going to your graduating class from high school. You know what I mean? Another thing is, you don't put your email in your bio. Put your email in your bio, not in the email button. Put your email straight into your bio. Straight into your bio. Also, another mistake, people get managers too soon. Or people think that getting management is going to make them money and make them a career. That's not true at all. Management is great at the right time, and understanding that it is a tool in your arsenal for monetization. It is not your only tool, and it shouldn't be. Next, what is something that most people probably don't know you do as an influencer? Oh, this is a fabulous question. What is something that people probably don't know I do as an influencer? Something that I think that people don't realize, or I'm trying to spill the secrets here. I'm trying to give the behind the scenes. I have an assistant. I have an assistant who helps me with reposting content, and she'll take content from my TikTok and help me put it on YouTube Shorts. I have help, and you should have help. 100% you should have help. I also have an editor that handles my podcast and my YouTube. Amanda, I've talked about her before on here. I've talked about Amanda and Lindsay, and they help me. They're amazing. Another thing that people, I think, maybe don't know that I do as an influencer, I will film content. I will film clips of different things, like my nails. I just did a piece of content about getting new nails. I took all that footage. That footage was edited into 2 different types of videos, because the types of videos on TikTok do not work on Instagram. The type of videos on Instagram certainly do not work on TikTok. TikTok is a lot more transferable to Instagram. Instagram is not transferable to TikTok for me. And on YouTube Shorts and on Pinterest. All these things go to the different platforms. And so it was like one topic that is edited in multiple ways in order to be repurposed. Another thing that people probably don't know that I do as an influencer, whenever I'm filming in a certain location, I definitely shove whatever crap is in the vicinity. Not all the time. I don't do this a lot, and we actually keep a pretty tidy house, but there are times when I have to film and I, like, for instance, Joseph's bedside table is in the frame. If Joseph's bedside table is in the frame, then I'm doing a full sweep of that bedside table. All of that stuff is off because he keeps so much stuff on his bedside table. So much stuff on his bedside table. It is crazy. So, I'll like just sort of, make sure that it's not distracting. I don't need my home to look perfect. I don't think it does. And I don't think I could even make that happen. But I do want like the medication bottles to be out of the background. Like, what are your favorite / least favorite parts about creating content? My favorite parts of creating content are being creative, being able to do things in a different way and make something like that's not interesting. I like sharing. I like yapping. I like talking. Like I was at dinner last night and the girl came up to me. She was the waitress and she put on her fridge. She was like, "Oh my gosh, I love your shoes." I was like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much. They're from DHgate." And so we then had a whole conversation about DHgate. I was like, "They're $45. Here's the link. This is what I saw. I also bought these shoes. You can get them from this link. And have you ever used DHgate? Here's, definitely look at the sizes because the sizing can vary. Here's what I did. It came in 3. Like, I influence on accident because I just like to share. If something's my favorite thing, I'm going to share it. And so that's my favorite part, is that I just get to share. I get to yap all day long and tell you about all the things that I think are amazing, because I get personally offended when I refer something to somebody and they don't take that so damn seriously. I'm like, no, if I'm telling you to listen to a song, if I'm telling you to watch a show, if I'm telling you to buy this thing, if I'm telling you to read this book, I think it's going to change your life. And I have an obsession. And so I'm going to give it to you. I feel everything so deeply, including my love for my shoes. And I want you to experience that. That's my favorite part. I don't really know if I have a least favorite part. It's all pretty great. And I don't really want to dwell on that negativity. There's really not much that sucks. Cause I was like, filming in public, but even filming in public is a really good exercise for like self-confidence. It's a really good exercise for me to just like get over it, and that content's really good. Like, it's very fun to do when you stop caring and then you get it back and you get to edit it and you're like, wow, that footage turned out so great. So yeah, I don't really know if I have a favorite part. How do you incorporate being an influencer on your resume? This is actually a really good question, especially for those who are doing both or like transitioning. I also think that a lot of people don't know that a lot of influencers have a full-time job or like take up a side job because, one, it grounds you. Like, to be very frank, it grounds you into reality because this is not a normal job. And sometimes I think you need that touch point. I think it also adds some structure because that's something that is I think it's looked past how much people need structure in a job, and influencing does not provide structure. You have to make it yourself, and it's a very hard thing to do. Anything where you are creating, like you're your own boss, you're losing somebody else making that structure, and that's a very valuable thing to have, is somebody else. You're stepping into somebody else's system. That's a very nice thing to have. And so some people need that structure of like another job, even if it's like making coffee or like being a waitress or like it could literally be doing anything, but something to give you some time constraints actually really helps you to structure your days. What was the freaking question? Oh, how do you incorporate being an influencer on your resume? I think that it depends on the job. It depends on the job that you are going to be, that you're going to be doing. If it's irrelevant, like, I think there you can call it different things. If you're going into a marketing job or into something like that, or a content creator job, that's obviously clear. You put yourself as a content creator. If you're going into a marketing job, you can name it something a little bit like a content marketer or something like that. And you can talk more about how you like create ads, optimize content for X, run campaigns, like those type of things. And then if it's something that is super off the wall, maybe don't include it, especially different industries may not take kindly to that. Like, so definitely read the room going into being a lawyer. If you're going into medical things. Like, I don't think that that's necessarily relevant, unless you are a creator that is like around that field in that niche, and they are it's a culture that would see that as a good thing. Because not all of those like corporate type of jobs, not all of them do, although I think a lot of them do. How do you choose which brands to partner with? If I like them. This is not hard. If you like them, you choose. You say yes. If you don't like them, you don't do it. If you don't like the product, you don't do it. Like, I feel like it's not, there, and then, you got to think of your personal brand as well. But I think if you're thinking about your personal brand, it can always come down to, if you like it, you share it. If you don't like it, you're not going to share it. For instance, like, I'm trying to think of what would be irrelevant to me. Chocolate. I'm not going to promote chocolate because it's not relevant to me. I hate chocolate. My whole audience knows that. So why would I promote? Like, that's, I don't like it, so I'm not going to work with Hershey's. You know what I mean? Or like pet care, I don't think that would be relevant for me, unless we get a pet or something like that. Like, it's not that hard. What do you look for in a brand collaboration? Adequate pay, clear communication, and how I can provide value. I don't vet, hold on. I do vet brand collaborations, but honestly, like, I do have a manager. She's really good about knowing what I'm going to enjoy, what's going to be relevant to me, and what's not. So if she sends something my way, it's basically already vetted by her. Like, if that's something, or she'll ask if that's something that I want to do. And then also, if she's sending it to me, she's handling those negotiations, so I know the pay is going to be good. So I don't really actually have to vet a lot of brand collaborations. If you're getting, if you don't have a manager yet, you're managing that yourself, and you're like managing those emails, doing those pitches, look for adequate pay. Pay attention to the language that they use. Oh my God, you know what I look? I look for a solid contract, a clear, solid contract that is fair, and protects you. And one of the first things that you should get when you start content creating is a lawyer. You need a lawyer. I got my first lawyer when I was signing on to my first management team. Otherwise, like, I was reading those contracts, and that's fine. Like, you can read contracts and, like, you can, spot something fishy. Always ask questions. Always ask questions, and never think that you can't change a contract. I remember the first time I did a contract, it was the first time I hired a lawyer, the first time I did a contract. I sent it to her. She sent it back. She redlined so much shit. We changed, this contract was the transformation of this contract was crazy. It looked so different. When I got it back, I was like, oh my God, they're going to say no, and I'm going to lose this. But whatever, but I had to protect myself. So I sent it to them. You know what they said? Okay, that's fine. It was a whole management agency. They just said yes to all of our changes. I'm like, why the fuck? First of all, if we had to redline that contract that much, why are you putting in why are you putting in the contract? I'm no longer with that agent. I'm not with that management anymore. The management that I'm with now, I'm actually on my third management team. And their contract is the most beautiful contract that I've ever seen. It was such a great contract. I added an amendment. And I just added it from the last contract that I sent. It was from my lawyer's language, and I just was like, "Hey, can we add this in?" Because it's something personal to me that I needed. Nothing that they would know about. Other than that, their contract was so great. So, yeah, if you are signing on to management, you need to hire a lawyer. Spend the money, hire the lawyer. I promise. What are your go-to tools and platforms for content creation? Are you ready? Go-to tools for content creation. Everybody knows that you edit on CapCut. If you don't know, now you know. CapCut is amazing. I edit on CapCut. URL Genius. URL Genius is how I convert my Amazon shopping links into something that will actually give me commission. Oop, what did I say? That's right. If you are using Amazon affiliate and you are like linking your affiliate thing in your stories, and you just take that straight affiliate link, when you click on an Amazon link and it goes, oh, also if you're a customer, if if you're clicking that Amazon link and if it goes to the browser, version of Amazon, and then it says go to app, and so you go to the app, as soon as that person goes to the app, you're no longer getting commission. And then for the consumer, as soon as you go to the app, that influencer is no longer getting commission on that. So if you're looking to support them, unless they sign it in the browser and they check out in the browser, which who the fuck does that? They're not getting the commission. URL Genius takes those links, makes it into, so when you click on it, it will take them straight to the Amazon app, and it brings all those cookies over, and those cookies last several days, I think. So then you get commission on anything that they are buying days after that, so any of those carts. Also, as a consumer, if you did not know that, now you know. I think it's important that if you have a problem with that, you really shouldn't. Commission links do nothing for you and just support the people that you support. And so I think commissions are great. I think the cookies are great. It does nothing to your experience. But what it does is reward that influencer for encouraging you to shop on Amazon, which you were going to do anyway. So yeah, URL Genius is fantastic. Another one, Social Blade. Social Blade, anybody can use Social Blade. You can look up people's growth, including yours, but you can also look up your competitors. You can not competitors, because we're not in a business of businesses, we're influencers, so let's not look at people as competitors. But you can look at people you aspire to. You can look at their growth rate, their analytics on YouTube, and also look at yours and how much you are growing per month. Social Blade is really, really awesome. TubeBuddy is great for SEO on YouTube. It is fantastic. TubeBuddy is going to help you make sure that your content is SEO optimized, and for YouTube, that really, really matters. Those are my top tools. Oh, what am I saying? Rella. This is how you're going to manage your influencer business. Rella, you can do content management, you can do invoice management, you can do content approvals for brands, you can keep your notes in there. Their community is amazing. Rella is how you manage a content business, and you should get on Rella sooner rather than later if you are looking to be an influencer and create a business from content creation. That also, if you work in anything in social media management, UGC creator, whatever. What tactics have you found most effective for engaging your audience? This is funny, guys, because if you are listening as somebody who is just sort of you're a friend, you're a supporter, you guys get to see, I guess you're kind of listening, and and you don't want to grow an influencer business, you get to see kind of behind the curtain. I think that's important. I think transparency is important. So, and nothing I say is going to be new to you. What tactics have you found most effective for engaging your audience? Well, say something interesting, and listen to what your audience wants you to talk about, and lead with your personality. Lead with the most stripped apart pieces of your personality, your least shy pieces of your personality. They want to see your personality, and they want to see you excited about things. And that's not hard for me, because I'm excited about a lot of things, because I'm a golden retriever. But I think when you lead with personality, you start the video, if you're creating a video, start it with a really, really good hook, so that they know that you're going to tell them something cool, or you're going to share something with them. Why is it applicable to them? At the end of the day, people are scrolling. So why should they stay on your video? Your hook is going to be the reason that they stay. And then listening to what content that they want to that they want to be shared. I love answering comments, and I think having a pulse on that community is so important. And you should know your people like the back of your hand. You should know what they like. You should know what content that they enjoy. You should know the problems that they face. And you should always lead with, how can you help that person? How can you add value? How can you help? You know what? Being an influencer is about being a good friend. You are now a friend to every single person that follows you. I have 750,000 friends, whatever it is. Between all my platforms, my job is to be a good friend to those people. I share things that I think are awesome because I would share it with a friend. I make content about things that have helped me because I would want to help them. My whole job is to make their life better in any way that I can. You lead with that, you're solid. But that comes from heart values. You know what I mean? There's a business way to do it so that you can keep the lights on, but your ending goal, your backbone is that you are a good friend. And I will always try and be a good friend. Wow, look at that high. I just sort of got off my soapbox there. What are your tips for networking effectively in the Charleston community? Honestly, this is kind of niche to Charleston. I'll put this as like a more general thing. When you're networking is, again, about being a good friend. Like, lead with how you can help people, and you will find the people that are willing to help you. Also, it is a small world. Charleston especially, but anywhere, it's a very small world. You know what place is small that people don't really recognize? New York. In New York, you are a sniff and a sneeze away from somebody that you want to know. Somebody in your circle knows them. New York is small. Everybody knows everybody, okay? Truly. You don't think it? Like, New York is both, like, everybody's far apart and super close together. But in any community, always lead with kindness and do not talk shit. Don't talk shit about other people and show an ugly face, because chances are that will get back to them and that reputation will then be on you. And that's not good. That's not good. How has networking locally benefited your brand? I now get invited to the things that I wasn't invited to, which is awesome. I also now have really cool Charleston friends that I get to share with and I get to create content with, and I didn't have that before. And that is so freaking awesome. I also, something that I love, I work with most of my Charleston, actually, at this point, I think every project I've ever done has been pro bono, because, of course, a lot of my stuff is, international or across the US, my content deals, things like that. It's not Charleston based. And because I'm from here, I'm so proud to share the things around the town and around our city. So I do a lot of it pro bono. And because of that, I've gotten to connect with more Charleston businesses, Charleston restaurants, and that is truly like a labor of love for me. I think that this city is amazing. And I think that more people should visit. And I know people are upset about the traffic, but I just think it's the best, and it brings me joy, and things that bring me joy, again, as we've established, I share. What trends do you see emerging, and how do you stay ahead of the curve with social media trends? I think recognizing where to hop on. You know what? It's recognizing what you should hop on and what you shouldn't. With trends, let's talk about trends with platforms and where you should be is for platforms. If you have the capacity, sure, get some experimental content onto a new platform. Start dabbling a little bit. That will help you. But at the end of the day, you should have your focus on one platform. And then when you get that platform built, you move to the next one. Efforts, this is for anything. This is literally for any career, anything that you want to do. Focused effort is going to get you so much farther than efforts that are spread thin. I have to ask myself daily, is this something that is going to be benefit my time? Especially because this is a social job. This is a job where I am not only creating content for other people to see, but I am also seeing everybody's content, and then it's so easy to compare, and it is so easy to say, Susie did that, so I should do that. I muted people. I have muted several people because I realized that I was not looking at their content because I enjoyed it or I found value from it. I did find value from it, but I was looking at it from a point of jealousy. I should do that. And then I realized that was affecting my creative process. I will not let my jealous heart, I will not have that affect my content, and I will not do that person a disservice by copying their content. So if it means muting them for a little bit until I can check my heart and then come back, absolutely I will do that, because that is not ever where I want to be, and I never want somebody to feel that I copied them, that I took their idea, and if I'm not coming to their content with a good heart, then I don't belong there. And a lot of people can actually, should probably, implement that thought process. Staying ahead of the curve. If it excites you, it excites other people. Jump on it, and jump on it fast. I really, really like creating content as an in the moment thing. That's why I'm having an issue like figuring out my content calendar, because I'm creating so much that I have too much content, and I'm used to creating and posting. And it allows me to have such a close grip on that content and have it be such a close touch point that I feel much more connected to that piece of content. But then if I create it and I'm not posting it till next week, I have lost the connection with that content. If you see a trend that you want to hop on, have like a foundational plan, maybe for a content calendar, something what you want to post for that week. And then if there's something that you want to jump on it, be fast and move and get on it and just have fun with it and don't take it too seriously. Like, it's all fun. And if you find something interesting, somebody else is going to as well. Also, don't just be a trend follower. Make your own trends. Be thinking about things that could be replicated and that other people would find interesting and post it. Make it a trend. You could be a trend starter. You could be a trend starter. That's awesome. And last, what advice would you give somebody just starting to build their brand online? Focus on one platform. Dig into that. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing on every other app. Don't worry about the other apps. And this goes for building your platforms and building your income streams, because it kind of go hand in hand. Build, like I talked about in the podcast where I was saying how I planned to go full-time influencing, and like it's multiple income streams. So you have to you have to dig out the river and let that water flow and make sure that water will continue to flow. And then you can move to digging out the next river for those income streams. Each platform is a new river. Dig out the river, let the water flow, get it so the water will flow automatically without you being there. You've got your own systems of posting. You understand like what your posting behavior is. You understand what works, and you get that platform to a place where you feel confident and you're like, yeah, I can now do this. And then move your focus to another platform, because you no longer have to put primary efforts into platform A. You can put primary efforts into platform B and keep your platform A in a maintenance mode, because you cannot be on a true growth track on that many things, especially without help. So if you're just starting out, focus on one platform and post you know what the first thing you should do is, because your first metric of success should be how many times you post, not how many views you get. For at least 2 weeks, I would say a month, but at least 2 weeks, your goal should just be consistency, because you have to now exercise that muscle. So you're going to exercise that muscle, make sure it's strong, make sure that you can learn your own posting behavior, and you can then figure out how often is comfortable for posting for you and what is the sustainable effort that you can make. Because the thing is, you cannot optimize effort that you cannot consistently do. So if you are looking at, and you're going to get discouraged, if you're looking at your first 5 posts and you're like measuring their success based on their views, it's your first 5 posts. Don't do that. You need to first get to a place where you are just measuring based on consistency. Can you post every day? When you get comfortable with that, then you move to, okay, what's getting the most views? And that's not what it is. It's not, am I hitting this many views? You're then looking at what is getting the most views and how can I do more of that? It could be 200, 300, 400 views. What is getting the most views and how can you do more of that? Just keep repeating and keep going. But the hardest muscle is going to be keep going. The hardest muscle in anything in life is just going to be keep going. This whole like digging this river and then moving to the next one, it can be applied to multiple areas, so many things. But you will find yourself, you are much more effective if you focus on one place, get it to a good spot to where it can run itself, or it can run without as much effort as you are putting in now, and then move to the next thing. Because you are never going to be able to put 100% into a million things. You're just not. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work with anything. How was that? We got through all 13 questions. That's crazy. I feel like we did pretty good. I feel like I did pretty good on time. Was that interesting? Guys, let me know. Did you find this interesting? I'm a very nosy person, so knowing the inside and outsides of these things, it's also my personal interest is, of course, in influencing. It has been for years, so I would listen to podcasts on content creation and stuff, but maybe that's not your cup of tea. What are you wanting from the podcast? What guests are you wanting? What topics are you wanting? Please, 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 I'm begging you right now. Please, right now, I'm begging you, shoot us a DM. DM me, DM Mutual Friends Podcast, whatever it is, and let me know what podcast that you want to hear. And if you can't think of an idea off the top of your head, I want you to tell me what your favorite podcast has been so far, because that will give me an idea of what else I should be doing. I love you so much. Thank you so much for supporting me. I'm very passionate about what I do. And of course, I'm very passionate about you. You are the reason that I get to do this every day. And you are the reason that I do this every day. So I hope that I'm a good friend to you. I love you dearly, dearly, dearly. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.